When it comes to success, the biggest differentiator of all is typically one's people skills. With your influence and success insight, I'm Bob Berg. In the previous video, I related an incident from several years ago where I was able to very quickly diffuse a potentially very negative situation with a person who reacted in anger after I nearly accidentally hit him with my car. Here's the thing. I shared that story with you not because it's so unusual, but rather because it's actually very usual. I don't mean almost hitting someone with my car. That's hopefully extremely unusual. I mean being faced with a situation that can seem antagonistic and being able to very quickly turn a would-be adversary into an ally. And it's much more than just that. It's being able to effectively work with or deal with practically anyone in practically any situation. Whether family members, friends, those you lead, those you work for, those you work with, as well as your prospective and current customers and clients. And yes, even those randomly difficult people you come across from time to time, whether the difficult city hall or big corporate bureaucrat, the rude neighbor, or even the unhelpful customer service representative who's not providing good customer service. Hey, life is life, and it presents us with many difficult people challenges. But you can be that rare person who is able to successfully and really pretty easily navigate through these situations and attain the results you want. And the ability to do this is truly a difference maker. I mean, think about it. You can have practically all the positive attributes of an ultra successful person. For example, you can be very talented and of extremely high character. You can be ambitious, kind, charitable, hardworking, thrifty, and energetic. You can have a knack for numbers and a head for business. You can be even-tempered and creative and much, much more. And all that's great. It's terrific. However, unless you can influence others, move people to the desired and appropriate action, your chances of attaining that stratospheric type of success is somewhat limited. On the other hand, when combining benevolent intent and a learned skill set, you can find yourself constantly, consistently, and predictably attaining satisfaction, both personally and professionally, and in such a way that everyone comes away a winner. I call this genuine influence, which I define as simply the ability to get the results you want when dealing with others while making them feel genuinely good about themselves, about the situation, and about you. Really, we're talking about mastering people skills, which has proven to be the determining factor, again, the difference maker between those who attain reasonable levels of success and those who attain enormous levels of success and achievement and seem to have the world just eating out of his or her hands. We've all seen both types, right? There's the person who, again, has attained some real legitimate success, yet they're constantly bypassed, whether climbing the corporate ladder, beginning an entrepreneurial venture, landing the big sale, the huge new account. They're bypassed by that person who just seems to have a knack for eliciting other people's trust, agreement, and commitment. Genuine influence is about understanding and respecting human nature and doing things in a certain way that brings out the best both in ourselves and in those we deal with. Great leaders, top producers, top money-earning salespeople, the person in your community whom everyone loves and respects, this is what they do. Now, some people do this naturally, very intuitively, but relatively speaking, not too many. Most people have to learn this. The neat thing is that once you're able to not even master, but just become proficient at this, suddenly you have a lot more self-confidence, you become even better liked, more respected, highly trusted, and far more influential in your world. This translates into a personal life, into a business that's a lot more fun, a lot less stressful, and a lot more profitable. While much of this series will focus on and discuss the principles behind, again, what we call genuine influence, let's start at the beginning with the simple concept of influence. I mean, we hear the word influence these days so often and in so many contexts, but what is it really? And we'll look at exactly that in the next video. With your influence and success insight, I'm Bob Berg. Make it a great day.